So in this video, we solve some exercises on Access from the exercise book, chapter 6. So we start with exercise 6.1, that is on the multiplex center database. So let's first of all open the file multiplexcenter.accdb. So let's have a look first of all at the structure of the database, of this relational database. So first of all, we have the table film that includes all the movies displayed in the cinema, the table room with the details of the rooms in the cinema. The junction table session handles the many-to-many relation between films and rooms, and basically provides the information on when a given movie is shown and in which room. Then we have the table reservation that tracks all the reservations for a given session, tracking also, recording also the specific seats associated to each reservation. So let's see the first query, Q001. We start with part A, that it's about just selection queries. So we have to build a query that returns the titles of English movies with sessions scheduled in January. We want to show the title and the session ID. So create query wizard, simple query wizard, okay. So you have to select the fields that I need. So I need the title. Then from the table film, I need the language because I have to select the English movies. And then from the table session, I need the session ID. Next, detail, show every field, every record. The title of the query is Q01. I want to follow the same name convention used in the exercise, so then I can track back what queries, what point of the exercise each query refers to. And I want to open the query in a way that I can modify the design. So finish. So this is the query design. I have to have a criteria English on the language, and then in order to, and I don't want to display it, sorry, and then in order to consider only the movies whose shown in sessions in January, I have to extract the month from the date and time field in table session. So here I can create a virtual field, month, semicolon. I open the builder, okay, because I don't remember the name of the function. So if you don't remember if you remember the names, you can write it directly, or you can open the builder, select functions, built-in functions, date and time, month, and I remove exp. And then here, the date from which I want to extract the month is a field in the session table. So you have to open the multiplex center drop-down menu, tables, sessions, date and time. Okay. And this must be equal to 1. Can run the query, and this is the result. The second query requires that given a session ID specified by the user, the query returns the reserved seats ordered by line and by seat. So let's go back to our database. This was query 1, so I can save and close it. Then create query wizard, simple query. Okay. So here we need, first of all, the session ID. So from the table session, I select the session ID. And then from the table reserved seats, I have to select line and seat. I have to sort by line and then by seat. Next. Next, we call it Q02. Modify the query design, finish. So you see that Access selects the three tables: session, where I have the session ID, reservation, and reserved seat. So you want to display the session, the line, and the seat of the reserved seat for sessions specified by the user. So to ask the user for value, I can create a field that does not exist, like so, square brackets, give provide session ID, run to check the results. So for example, we can consider the section ID February 2013 underscore 006. So you see, I didn't do exactly the exercise because the records are not sorted by line, only by seat. No problem. I open again the query in design view, and they have to select line, sort, ascending, seat, sort, ascending. Run Feb 2013 underscore 006, and this is the result. Right click, save, right click, close the query. The third query, exercise Q03. So we have to build a query that returns title, production year, and language of the Italian movies produced between 2008 and 2010. So let's go back to our Access documents. Database, create query wizard, simple query. So from table film, I need the title. Then again from table film, I need the production year and the language. Next, next. Q03, modify the query design, finish. So this is what I have to display. So there's just one single table and I have to put filters. So criteria on production year and language. So for language, I just write quotes Italian in the criteria box. And for production year, I can use the between 2008 and 2010 expression. Run, and this is the result. Right click, save, right click, close. So query number 4, build a query that returns the titles of the movies with sessions scheduled in rooms with more than 100 seats. Show title, room name, and floor. Okay, so again, create query wizard, simple query. So we need to show the title of the movies shown in rooms with more than 100 seats, so number of seats. And then I have to display the room name and the floor. Next, next. The name is Q04. Modify the query design, finish. Okay, so I don't have to display the number of seats. Title, I have to display it. Number of seats, no. Room name, no. Yes. Floor, yes. I don't have to sort it in any way. The only thing is that I have to take rooms with more than 100 seats. So in number of seats, criteria larger than 100. Run, and this is the result. So rooms pink and green have more than 100 seats, so I can check in the table rooms. Yes, there is pink at floor 1 and green at floor 2. I have different floors. Okay, green 2, black 1. Okay, should be okay. We close the table rooms, save, and close also this query. Number 5, build query that returns for each session the German movies. So I have to select only German movies. And for each session, I have to display a date corresponding to 30 days after the scheduled date. I have to show session ID, title, and the new date. So let's take our multiplex center database again, create query wizard, simple query. So we need to display the titles of German movies, the session ID, okay, and then I have to create another field that is a date corresponding to 30 days after the session date. Next, this is Q05, modify, finish. So they want to display the language, but they have to take German, session ID, and then I have to create a virtual field with, call it a new date, okay. That is, here I can use two different approaches. So I can use the date add function, where the unit is D, semicolon 30, semicolon, the date / time field. Run. New date, of course, is to shrink. So we can check if that, for instance, session February 2013 004, it's actually, the new date is actually March. So it probably makes sense. I have to check when this session actually occurs. It's 9 February, so 30 days after that is correctly March 11. Save and close also this query. Number 6, build a query that returns the movie sessions for a language and a floor provided by the user. Show the title, the scheduled date, and the room name. So again, create query wizard. Okay. So I need the language of the movie, because that I want to filter it. I need the room floor, again, to filter the results with the information provided by the user. And then I want to show the title, the date, and the room name. So I go back to the film table and I select title. Then session ID and I select date and time. And then room and I select the room name. Next. Q06, modify the query design, finish. Okay, so the language must be provided by the user. Provide language. So in the field criteria, using square brackets, I create a field that does not exist, provide language. So Access will ask me for language. The same I can do for floor. Provide floor. These two values, these two fields are not displayed. These two fields are not displayed. Title, date and time of session, and room name. So I run the query, provide language, let's try with Italian, provide floor 1, and this is the result of query number 6. Save, close. So we have the last exercise of this first part, part A, on just selection queries. So build a query that verify if any session of the Twilight Saga is scheduled. If yes, show the scheduled time and the room name. So again, create query wizard. Okay. So I need the movie title because I have to check that the title contains something related to the Twilight Saga. And then I need the date, the session date. And the room name. Next. Next, this is Q07. Modify the query design. So here I have date, date and time, the room name, and then I have to put a criteria in on the title. So I can use the like expression, like quotes, star, Twilight, star, quotes. So this will look for anything containing the word Twilight with whatever before it and whatever after it. Run. Okay, so there is just one apparently on December 4 in room green. So this exercise completes the first part on selection query. Now we move to part B, 6.1.2, where we have selection queries. So the first summary query that you have to deal with is Q09. So build a query that shows for the first floor the total number of seats and the average seats per room. So back to our database. You have to save and close Q007 and create query wizard. Next. So I have to select the table room. So floor, that must be first. The total number of seats. The total number of seats and the average number of seats. So I have to put twice the number of seats. And I can't do in that part, so I have to do it afterwards. I have to select the summary query. Summary query. So I want to compute the sum and average of the number of seats. Modify the query design. I call it Q09. So you see that we have floor, group by, sum of number of seats, average of number of seats. So this query will show for each floor the sum of seats and the average number of seats. Here I'm interested in the floor number 1 only. So where criteria 1, and then I run the query. So I have 460 seats, and the average number of seats per room is 153.33333. Then query number 10. So here I want to obtain the sessions with the total number of reserved seats ordered by the number of reserved seats. So let me go back to my Access database. So create query wizard. Okay. So I need the table session ID. And then from the table reserved seats, I think I can take the ID, because I have an entry in reserved seat for each seat that is reserved. And here I want to show all the sessions with the total number of reserved seats ordered by the number of reserved seats. Next, so it's a summary query, summary options, count records in reserved seats. Okay, next, modify the query design, and this is Q10. Finish. Okay, so we have session ID group by, count of reserved seats. Okay, I can remove this table, this field, sorry, and then I have to sort descending, I think. So I want to put on top the sessions with the largest number of reserved seats. Run. Okay, so this is the results, different sessions with the count of reserved seats. Sorry, I mistyped. Okay, go back to our exercises. So number 11, considering that the price of one ticket is 7.5 euro, build a query that shows the income provided only by the reserved seats of each session. So this is very similar to the previous one. This is very similar to this one, to query number 10, because I have to count how many seats I have reserved, and then I can compute for each reserved seats, I can compute the total income. I will display also the reserved seats so that we can easily check that the results are correct. So create query wizard. Yes, I forgot to save and close Q10. So simple query. So here I need again the table session with the session ID, and then the reserved seat with the reserved seat ID. Next, I show that I can convert from a summary to a detail, from a selection to a summary query afterwards. So I select detail for the moment. Next, so I don't have to select beforehand what I want to sort and how. This is Q11. Modify the query design, finish. So I can convert the table to summary query, pressing the totals button there. So you see that we have session ID, group by, ID, count. Okay, I can call this count of IDs. Okay, and then income, that will be count of ID multiplied by 7.5. I think I have to use comma, sorry. Okay. Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't. So create query wizard. Okay. So here I need the table session field session ID, and then again I need the table reserved seat field ID. Next. Now I select detail instead of summary, because I show you that you can convert the query to summary query also afterwards. Next, this is Q11. Modify the query design, finish. So now you see that I have the interface of the selection query, but if you press the summary button here, you convert it in a summary query. So you want to group by session ID. The ID of the reserved seat, I want to count them. And then to compute the income, one solution is to create a virtual field income, column 7.5, that's the price for each ticket, and then sum. Okay, so you see that here for each session ID, access count the ID and sum 7 euros and 50 cents for each reserved seat. So run. So you see that for the session December 2010-002, we have 3 seats reserved, so the income is 22.5 euros. For this session we have 2, so the income is 15. For this session we have 7, so the income is 52 euros and 50 cents. I show that you can solve this exercise in another way. So view, design view. I assign a virtual field to the count of ID, so I call it, let's call it expression1, generic name. And then here I create another field, income2, okay, that is the field expr1 multiplied by 7,5. And then I have to select here the expression type. Okay, so run, and you see that I have exactly the same result. So this exercise, this is Q11. So then we have Q12 left, so build a query that returns name, email, and phone of people who reserved more than 2 seats. Okay, so let me see, I can do it. So first of all, save and close this query. Create query wizard. Okay, so I have to go to reservation, person name, email, phone ID, and then reserved seat. ID. Next, next, Q12, modify the query design, finish, convert to summary. So we have person name, email, and phone, group by, group by, group by, reserved seat count, criteria larger than 2. Run. And so this is the result. Save and close. So this exercise completes part B on summary queries. So the next part, part C, is on validation rules, forms, and reports. So the first validation exercise on validation rules, V1, asks us to build a validation rule with text, which checks that the number of seats per room is positive. So let's open, sorry, let me close this field. Let's open the database, select the table room. So this is the content of the table room. Design view. Select the field number of seats. Here in the general part, we have validation text and validation rule. So the validation rule is larger than 0. The validation text is the number of seats must be positive. Okay. So now if you go back to the, yes, I want to save the table. Yes. So if I change the content of the number of seats of room number 006, black second floor, I see, I get an error message, the number of seats must be positive, and I can't change it. So let's go back to the original, sorry, 320. The second validation rule that we have to implement is again with text, and we have to check that the session year, so the year of the date of the session, cannot be larger than the year of today. Okay, so let's close the table. I open the session table, select the design view, select date and time. So the validation rule with text. So the validation rule is that year of the field date minus time, close parenthesis. You can open the builder if you want to see it better. Must be smaller or equal than the year of date, where date is a function that returns the date of today. Okay, and the validation text is year of session date cannot be after the year of today. Okay, save the table. Agree on this. Go back to the session. So if I change here the date, 2020, see it complains that year of session date cannot be after the year of today. So I go back to 2013. Okay, I mistyped something, so let me open again the session in design view, and here year of session, close. Yes, I want to save. Okay, so we have now we can move to the form exercise to complete the part C of exercise 6.1. So now let's consider the 3 exercises on forms. So build a form to view films, lock the form to avoid films insertion. So again we have a wizard, so create form wizard, table films. We select all the fields. Next. You can select how you want to display the layout of the form. So I select columnar, it's fine. Next, the name is F1. So form 1, modify the form design, fine, finish. so it takes a little bit. So this is the form layout, and what I have to do, since I want to I want to prevent film insertion, so here there's the the field allow additions, so I set this to no. View. So here you see you have code, title, blah blah blah, and then you can browse all the entries using here the arrows or searching for something. Okay, save and close. Exercise F2 is a little bit more articulated because we need two forms. So build a form to insert a new reservation with reserved seats. Lock the form to avoid reservation modifications. So again, create form wizard. So reservation, number, person name, email, phone, the session ID, so the session that you want to record, to reserve for, and then the reserved seats. The ID pub is not necessary. Reservation number, line and seat. Next, I want to group it by, to display the results by a reservation with subforms. Datasheet, I call it F2, and then F2 subforms, modify the design, finish. Takes a while, and then allow edits. No, if you don't have this field here on the right, you have to click property sheets. View. Okay, so these are all the reservations with the reserved seats. Okay. Then the last form, build the form to view rooms and sessions. Lock the form to avoid room insertions, modification, and deletions. So this is similar. So we want a form, save and close. We want a form that display the rooms. So room name, number of seats and floor. And then for each room, we want to see the sessions. So session ID, code, date and time. A room code, I don't need it because I have the room name. Next, by room. I want to display it by room with subform. Datasheets. This is F3, form 3 and form 3 subform. Modify, finish. And then in the property sheet data table tab, I don't want to allow addition, deletion, and edits. View. So we have room green, pink. You see that I can't edit. Okay, I cannot write. Okay, and you see that I can't go further to add other entries. Okay, so this completes the part on forms. So the last exercise is on reports. So we have to build a report display room by room, session by session, the reservation ordered in alphabetical order by person name. So let's go back to our Access. So right click, save and close F3. Then create report wizard. So this is pretty straightforward. So I have to select room because I have to display room by room. So let's say room name and floor, because we could have rooms with the same names in different floor. Or I could use the room code, that is the primary key is just one for each room. Then session by session. So let's say session ID and date and time. And then a reservation, person name. Next. So this is how Access suggests grouping the grouping the report. So room code, session ID and date and time, and then the person name. I don't want to add any grouping level. The wizard asks me how I want to sort the entries. So I want to sort by person name, ascending, so in alphabetical order. Next. Okay, stepped. Here you can select how if you want to stepped. So this will be room, this will be the session, and this is the person names. Block, you will have everything on the same line. Okay, outline like this. I think block is fine. Next. R1 is the name of this point of the exercise. Modify the report design just to be sure. Okay. Okay, this is how the report would look like. We can enlarge a little bit the date and time field, because it's otherwise, yeah, date and time is a bit long, so they could be large and not wide enough. Okay. Layout view. So this is how it will look like. Okay. And then we can select view. And so this is the report. So we have the room code, the sessions, and then the reservations. Okay. So here you see at 03, we have 2 reservations for this session, and these are the two entries in alphabetical order, also for session number 4. Okay, so this concludes exercise 6.1. In the next video, we see exercise 6.2 on the winery.